it's the structure, it's the
Mhm.
expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's about a lot of times I feel like kids are in trouble just because they're idle minds. So
Yeah.
if you give them tasks to complete, you know what I'm
They
saying?
don't have, they don't have an
Right.
expectation. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After I Do. I am your host, Anisha G, and I'm here with my husband this morning. Who are you?
I've changed my name.
What you change your name to?
I am now known as Kung Fu Lethal.
Oh my gosh.
M. Dot.
No, 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 no.
I'm either Kung Fu Mo,
Uh
Kung Fu Lethal, or M. Dot.
huh. My gosh. I'm sure
Yeah,
by the time this airs, everybody knows and is on the whole
they know.
Kendrick and Drake
They know.
beefing battle train. I mean, my husband he's been on it. He said this has been the best birthday.
This is this is look here. Kendrick and Drake, they have given me my best birthday week of my life. I am loving it. Mr. Petty Pendergrass himself.
Oh, is that what he's named?
That's what they
Petty
call
Petty
it, Kendrick.
Pendergrass?
My poor K Dot. I'm team K Dot. I don't care what nobody say. Drake ain't he can't come back from that. This is my favorite birthday week ever.
What do you mean he can't come back?
He can't come back.
I'm sure he can.
I don't think he can. That's my opinion. I'm just a fan.
Why do you think he can come
I'm
back?
not a I'm not a rapper. I'm just a fan
Why
of
do
the
you don't think
culture.
he can come back?
We're not finna dip like this. That's not what we do on this podcast. We talk
Oh,
about love and
I know,
marriage
but
and
we're
life
talking
and
about
that
current
stuff.
events right now, and this is it's a
That's I don't want to. I'm not gonna because I could talk about this for hours. As you know, because I've been talking your ear off, and you've been like, "Yeah, okay, babe, okay."
okay.
Then
Well, don't talk about it for hours. But I do want to hear why you think that he can't come back. I mean, he's still
Kendrick
Drake,
dropped 3 songs in 24 hours. It's a wrap, and he
and then the
got
one you
more.
played for me this morning, the beat from Metro.
Metro BPL Drizzy. Oh,
Oh, well, I guess
and the
there's
thing
like,
is like I say, Kendrick got receipts. Drake ain't showing no receipts.
what do you mean?
Kendrick got receipts. The inter the Kendrick got receipts, then the internet is finding the rest of the receipts. Drake ain't got no receipts of all his supposed allegations. The problem is that these Drakeettes out here, that's what I call Drake fans. These Drakeettes out here, they don't know how to admit defeat. But Drake is 0-2 when it comes to beef. Shout out to Pusha. Shout out to Pusha.
You're really invested.
I'm look,
You're like so you're so invested, and
I am
I don't understand why.
talking to the mic.
Oh, I'm sure you can hear me. I said you're just really invested. I just don't know.
That's why you turned yourself down.
I didn't turn myself
You
down.
did.
I didn't. I don't
You
touch
probably
that.
you moved
Well,
the
maybe the
cord.
cord was on it or
Yeah.
something.
I'm like, "Why are you so low all of a sudden?"
Yeah, you're like really invested, but I have been happy to see you so excited about something.
So
You're
excited!
so excited. Like you kept bursting into the room, babe,
He dropped
babe, he
again!
dropped again. He dropped again, babe.
Shout out to my boy McFly. Every time McFly called me, we was like we was on each other. Like pause. We we was like help me like if I caught it first, I call him. If he caught it first,
He called you.
and then later what ensued is a 3 hour conversation trying to break down what the hell was meant
Oh, I sent you a video.
by
Did you
all these
get
double
the
triple. Yeah, I
did
saw
you
that.
see the video
That was
where
I know.
everyone's trying to like break down the
It's
metaphors?
so that and that's the thing.
And
Like
you can go so many different ways
that's the
with
right
it.
and that's the thing about art. You know what I'm saying? It's open to interpretation, and it's like that's why I'm saying like Kendrick has to win because these things can be interpreted in so many ways. He don't have to say nothing. He can just let the culture go
But that's
wild.
what he's doing. He's
Whoa.
just letting you guys kind of have at it yourself. And then basically you guys are really creating your own diss.
This is a whole like this is I'm just saying right now. I agree with my boy McFly. Meet the Grams is the hardest diss record of all time, and it's
Because
not
he's single-handedly addressing
because
everybody?
he literally addressed the Grams. Like the man is talking to your mother on record, telling her that she raised a shitty human being, and told his daddy that he should have wore a condom. Told Adonis that it's not his fault that his daddy can't be a man. This like you can't come back
It's a little
on a
disrespectful.
man level, and that's what I was telling you from the beginning. I'm not gonna see. I told you I talk about this forever.
Go ahead.
Like
I'm loving it.
like I said, on a from the beginning, Kendrick, Drake's whole standpoint is you short, you not about that life, you not from the street. Kendrick's standpoint has just been saying you're a shitty human being and you're not even a man, and he's been proving this point after point. I'm not. That's
You
it.
don't think
No.
that Drake is gearing up to have a really big pushback?
I mean, I'm here for the competition. I'm here. Like I said
Everyone
yesterday,
is.
like I told you last night,
There's so many more important things going on in the world today,
there
guys.
really is.
For everybody to
But
be hung up on what could potentially be a fake beef.
but what I told you is the part of the smartest person in this beef is J. Cole. Because he said,
I love J. Cole.
You don't want
I
to
really
smoke.
do. I don't think that
I
he
for-
is not in it because he don't quote unquote want the smoke. I think he's not in it because for him
He's
that's
not that
just
type of guy.
that's just not his style. Like his maturity level is just
This ain't got any maturity level.
well
No, no,
okay.
no.
Well
And hold on, let me say this.
just
One
his
more-
style, I guess.
One more thing.
His style
We're
that
not-
I don't
we're
see
not-
that being his
I'm not
style.
gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk about Cole because Cole's my man.
I love
I'm
Cole.
a Cole fan.
I love Cole.
I mean, since the warm up Friday Night Lights, I've been rocking Cole since
I love Cole.
day one. Cole's my man. I will. I'm just gonna say I lost my train of thought. Just leave Kendrick alone. Just leave. Like this man is built different. This this man this man is built. I forgot what I was gonna say. But
That's your guy, huh?
that's it. Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
I knew once he just had a second, a pause, it'll come back to him. What?
There's not a lot of people in my life
Okay.
that I would like say that, oh my God, I really hate this person. Right.
You
Right.
didn't know you hated him until you heard.
I thought what I thought was hate. It's not
It's
hate.
not hate.
I just really dislike these people.
Yeah, Kendrick taught you how to.
Kendrick told me that I can't
You're not hating properly.
even hate properly. I'm gonna write this song to everybody I hate.
First of all, you don't hate anyone.
Oh,
That's a very strong word to use.
Oh no.
You probably
Oh,
know,
no.
like you said, you
Mm-mm.
probably strongly dislike them. I honestly can't think of anyone that I actually like hate. Like, because think about the amount of energy it takes to actually pour into the emotion to hate someone.
I-
That's draining. Like just saying
is.
it, that's
It is.
draining.
It is, and it's
And
too-
that's and then
and it-
and,
and
and
let me
then
say this, let
what
me say
makes
this.
what makes it silly is that you're the one depleting your own
right.
energy and they could care less. So really,
Oh no,
who's-
no.
yes.
Let me just say this, because we're not gonna finna deep dive into my personal business. The two people,
They were deep diving.
that they know I hate them.
Okay,
I just hate them to the extent Kendrick hate Drake, but now Kendrick has forced me to level up my hate.
but do you think they walk around like thinking about the hate that you have for
Oh.
them? They don't.
Oh,
They don't.
they-
They literally go about their day, and
Okay,
you're the one
but at
sitting
the
there like,
same-
"Oh, I hate you!" Like
No,
all that
hold on.
negative energy
on.
in your body, and they're out there like at the beach, like.
First of all, I know he ain't at the beach. I don't think about them all the time. I only think about when I see them,
which isn't often.
which isn't often. I try to. I avoid people I dislike like the plague because I don't want to be in that headspace. But there are a couple people at my place of employment
Oh, stop it!
that know
Stop it!
if I ever catch you in public,
Stop it!
I'm gonna say what the
It's
hell I
gonna
want to
be
say.
hugs,
It's okay. You keep saying that shit.
roses.
All right. What did you just say about me last week on the other podcast?
What did I say?
That you don't want to get me there. I'm a nice person, but when I get there, these two people, I'm constantly there.
When
On
you
site.
see them?
It's on site.
Mm.
On site. I
I
hate the
hate
way
that
that
for
you
you.
walk. I hate the way you talk to
Look,
your
I
face.
hate that for
Yeah,
you.
I know. How was your week? Because my week was great.
I know your week was great. My week wasn't too bad. We
Oh,
celebrated your
I didn't
birthday.
even say my tattoo.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 that was a highlight of your week.
yeah. That shit hurt.
You got
Shout out to my tattoo
well,
artist.
now I
Super
don't
fly.
know. I was gonna say you finished your tattoo, but I don't know
Well,
if it's finished now because you woke up this morning. You're like,
maybe I
well,
should.
maybe I should add this to it. I feel like that's how it is with tattoos, though. When people start getting tattoos, it's like, well, maybe I should add
Yeah, I
this, or
think I
maybe I should
am.
get this. But yeah, you got your tattoo. I mean, you have a great ongoing beef that's keeping you
Right.
highly entertained
And
and
I thought
busy.
about it the other day. I was like, man, I really wish you would go exchange my shoes. Because now I gotta do it for the culture. After that last song he dropped, I gotta do it for the culture.
Oh goodness.
Don't mess with the West.
I'm gonna go exchange your shoes.
Don't mess with
I
the
was like,
West.
did I keep the receipt? But anywho, yeah, so your birthday was last week. We celebrated your birthday. I hope you liked your birthday gifts.
You gave me that thing.
Oh my gosh, that's not you got actual birthday gifts. Did you like your birthday gifts?
And
Seriously?
then a cherry on top.
Seriously, did you like your actual birthday
Yeah,
gifts?
I like it. I thought it was me. I thought, look here. I want at first I was like, you know what? My wife really know me. I said because she got me birthday gifts, but she got things that I wouldn't complain about the cost. Cause
Well,
you
and I also got things
cause
that
you know I'd be like, calm down on these purchases because
I know, but I knew it was things that you would really like. So, like, I got you another pair of the tennis shoes that you like, but
I
in the
know,
other color that
yeah,
you liked.
yeah.
And then I got you
My smelly goods.
his smelly goods
Yeah,
because the last time we went to get the one that you really liked, they didn't have it.
they
And
were
then I
out.
thought about getting the entire line of it, but I was like, I don't really think that he's going to like wear it like
I
that.
still have the lotion from last time. I
Okay.
literally only put that lotion on my hands after I washed my hands.
Okay. And then like, the other thing, they have the bar soap and
No, I'm
stuff. And
not
I was
doing
like,
it.
we
No,
already
no,
use special
no,
soap
no,
soap.
no.
So I was like, I know you're not gonna use that.
That probably got a
But
low they got a low Yuka sewer.
but the by oh,
Low sewer.
if you guys haven't down I don't well, I
No,
shouldn't even
no.
plug them,
No,
but
we don't plug people. We only plug things that we only plug stuff that serve our interests. We not plugging nobody else. You know what I mean?
but there's this app that we use to scan like certain products, like hygiene products and stuff like that, and it gives it a score. And so it gives it a score, and we usually look at the ingredients and stuff and be like, okay, we're not gonna get it because it only got a score of like 30 out of 100, or I got a score of like 80 out of 100, then we'll get it if it's like fair or if it's good or whatever. But anywho, yeah, so I got you that. And then what about the new cologne? Did you like it? Did you?
I mean, it's cool.
I feel like once I sprayed it here at home, me and my sister sprayed it here at
What did
home,
it
and
say?
it doesn't smell the same
I put
as
it
it
on
did.
today.
Did you?
Yeah,
I thought you smelled good though.
I got it on right now.
Because you were standing right here in the
I got it on
front
right
when you
now.
were setting up, and I was like, "Oh, he smells good."
I got it on right now.
Yeah. I think it smells good. It doesn't but it didn't smell like that to me in
Yeah.
the store.
I'm also happy because my beard's finally long enough where I can go get it faded.
I'm just happy it's grown back because just
Oh,
don't do
you
that again.
wow, you wow.
Just don't do that again. I don't think I can go
You don't
through
know
it
what it's like
again.
to constantly having food stuck around your mouth and down in your belly.
I mean, but you just go like this.
And that's the other issue that you like twisting my hair and you be
I like
natting.
putting my fingers in it because it'd be thick in there. It'd be thick and coarse. And I like to stick my fingers in it. That sounds
That
terrible.
sounds terrible.
Sounds so terrible. But anywho, yeah, so your birthday week was this past week. That was really fun. Your daughter started another dance class this week. So we've picked up hip hop as well. She's been like
And that shit about to be canceled.
she she's been begging to do hip hop. So we picked up hip hop. So we were at
The outfit by
what
itself is
hip hop, jazz,
I don't
tap,
approve of the
ballet.
outfit by itself.
Um oh no, we don't do tap anymore. We dropped tap because we now have gym on that day. But she picked up hip hop and she's like loving it. I know you're not crazy about the
I'm not crazy about the outfits, the dance. I'm just
why?
why are these
But with
little
hip hop,
girls
she
popping
like
hips like this?
well, first of all, it's hip hop. And then second of all, it's like she can wear baggy clothes and stuff. So that's what she wore. She wore like baggy
First of all, my daughter ain't
ba-
got nothing baggy.
those pants are a size 8. Do you see you didn't see how tight they were, like how I had to drawstring them
Mhm.
around her waist because they're a size 8 and they're
I was
boy
saying
pants.
because I was like
I bought her boy cargo pants.
I said because everything she wear is like with her little skinny self.
Yeah. No, they're boy cargo pants. So
I'm embracing these years because when she started actually getting curves, I'm gonna cry.
bye. So anywho, but yeah, so we started that. So I had to get her some new tennis shoes for hip hop, had
Mm,
to get her some hip hop like clothes, you know. She calls it hip hop. She was like,
okay.
"Mom, I really want to do hip hop." And I said, "It's hip hop." She was like, "Yeah, that's why I
Well,
said hip hop."
somebody need to tell her that Miley Cyrus, "A Party in USA" is not a hip hop song.
Oh, that's her jam. But if you've been to their dances, like the father daughter dance,
Oh, that's they
and
play.
every time that song comes
It's a
on, it's
hit.
what?
It's a hit.
It's a hit. It's like juvenile. It's like
Yeah,
juvenile.
it's
When they hear the beginning of the part, it's like hearing
yeah.
doom,
I said
doom,
Molly got these
doom,
little.
doom.
I, I didn't
And they
realize.
be in there, I got my hands up, they playing my song.
I didn't realize how bad Miley and Katy Perry got these little
Your
girls in
girls are
the
chocolate.
chokehold. These little girls be going
You think
crazy,
it's Taylor Swift, but it's not Taylor Swift for like the 6 and 7-year olds. It's still Miley.
and I'm like, this song is older than you.
I know. And she plays it. Oh, and then she just what's the other one she discovered? Justin Bieber's
Oh
Baby,
my god.
Baby, And I was like, Phoenix, this song is so old. And she was like, No, it's not, Mom. No, it's not. Me and my friends play it. It's not an old song.
Yeah.
I was like, babe, it actually is. This was from like when mommy was little. You played this song? I was like, yeah, babe, we played this
She
song.
don't. She be. She last night she asked me, "Did you go to elementary school?" I was like, "No, Phoenix. Elementary school wasn't around when I was a kid."
Maurice, don't learn. Why would you tell her
Because
that?
she think I'm old as dirt.
Maurice, that's normal. We all went through that stage
Nah,
of thinking our parents were super old.
I'm tired of this.
Well, she tells me she sees
Uh,
my grays, and she was like, "Oh, mom, your hair is turning white." And I said, "I know, Phoenix. It's because I'm getting older." "Oh no, mom, I don't want you to be an old lady." I said, "I want to be an old lady because then
mm,
that means I get to stick around for you."
do you?
I pray that I am.
Mm.
She was like, "Why are you looking like with your hating eyes?" Oh, is it because what she said right before we started recording?
No, I'm just working on my Kendrick.
Goodbye. Right before we started recording, like, we were both calling up to her and you're like,
Oh.
I said, Phoenix, I was like, I love you. She was like, love you too. Marie said, Phoenix, I love you. And no, he goes, I love you more. And she was like, I love mommy more. But you know you're literally like her number one. You are. When she
She
be
my biggest.
missing you through the week and
She
stuff
my
too.
biggest hater,
And
and my
that's why she loves you so
she my
much.
biggest hater and my biggest cock block.
That's why she loves you so much. But yeah, so other than that, the week was good. I I feel like the busier she gets, I
The
don't
less you
know.
get done,
I don't huh?
the less you get done.
Well, yeah, the less I get done. But it's just
So
like
that's your
her
that's your plan.
attitude,
That's
like
your plan. I see it.
what?
You want to get her to the point where she's so busy, you gonna get some help in here. I see it.
What?
I see it.
I
Ow.
don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
you on some Kendrick strategy type shit.
Oh, please stop injecting that into
Oh.
everything.
Oh.
No, but I was saying like
Kung Fu Kitty
she is
out here motivating y'all.
she is like, like we say every week, like she's growing up and her attitude is
Oh,
starting to
she
change.
looks she act like you.
And that's why I want to talk about today. It's like, how do and then I already see like us trying to change how we discipline her as she gets older because the same little like sitting in the corner thing,
That shit don't work.
it's not, I mean, I think it's still effective because she still gets annoyed. Like she's
Uh,
more annoyed than like hurt. If like last night when I told her she had to go sit in the corner, she was just like, "Ugh," like it was more of an annoyance as opposed to her feeling like, oh my gosh, like this is a
this kid need to be
discipline.
smarter kicked.
Um,
This gentle parenting is
well, the
I don't
thing
like
is, there's no
I was kind of down for the gentle parenting, but now I realize gentle parenting is just me hurting myself.
no, but it's not. The thing is the gentle parenting has nothing to do with being like soft and gentle. The gentle parenting has everything to do with like setting boundaries, but also creating spaces for
She
them to like
constantly
express themselves.
avoids and ignores the boundaries.
She does not. And I
She
wish you'd stop saying that because the more you say that, like I feel like you're sort of putting that in her head because she doesn't ignore the
where did
boundaries.
she sleep last night?
She slept in her bed, and then she came and got into our bed, like, what was it, like 3 o'clock this morning, and you let her in. You quite literally let her in. She knocked on the door because the door was locked. And then you were like, "What is it, baby? What is it?" And she was like, "Dad." And then you're like, "Come here, come get into bed." Literally.
'Cause I
Literally.
knew it was gonna happen.
But had you said, "Phoenix, are you okay?
She would have cried.
Everything's okay? Okay, Phoenix, then you need to get back to bed."
She would have cried. I wouldn't have got no
Yeah,
sleep.
she would have cried for a little bit, but then she would have
I
fell back
wouldn't
to
have
sleep
got
like
no
she normally
sleep.
does.
I wouldn't have got no sleep.
Okay. I'm just saying.
You can say what you want to say.
I'm just saying.
I'ma smoke what I want to smoke.
Anyways, but yeah, so I mean, I know that we have started taking a different approach with well, at least you have started taking a different approach opposed to using the corner. So now we've moved into wall sits cuz I guess you figure that if
She needs
she's
some
got to be
pain.
disciplined,
She needs
then
some
she
pain,
might as well build muscle
and she needs some pain.
while
She
while
needs
in
some
the
pain.
process of it.
She about to have the best quads in the game.
But she now that she doesn't like.
And that's why I'm finna give it to her by the hour.
Yeah. But it's just like I wanted to kind of pick your brain too, because I know we talk about it, not quite often, but we do talk about it. Like as she gets older, what does discipline look like for her? Because here's the thing. Taking things away from
Mhm.
kids, I feel like that's like a hit or miss, right? Because yeah, you could take things away from
Because
them.
they adapt without it. Because
Exactly.
it's just like with the whole iPad thing, she don't even think about the
She
iPad.
literally just plugged the iPad in for the first time in over a month.
She don't even think about the iPad no more. She'll be
At
like,
all,
"I can't
at
have the
all.
iPad."
Oh, I went
Which
through her.
which
Go ahead.
which to our point, our credit, I actually really do love that
'Cause
because
she doesn't
I
need
feel
it.
like our kid is an actual kid, and she's like, "Let what
Mhm,
can I do to go play? Let me go
mhm,
work on my gymnastics. Let me go play outside. Let me
mhm,
play with my toys. Let me color."
and
Like,
that's what she does.
right? So like that part about it, I like it. I like the fact that my kid's not always in the screen.
Yeah.
I love that, and I think that's one part that I give you guys. I said, "Okay, look at her over here, momming. She over here doing her mom Doug Dizzle Rizzle."
I appreciate that.
You know?
But she still does look forward to the weekend,
Yeah,
like,
but she
having
knows what.
her
But
like,
even
this morning when she woke up,
yeah,
she was like, "Mom, can you make me something to eat before you record?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Is it still the weekend? It's still the
yeah,
weekend, right?" And I
yeah.
was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "So can I watch some
But
TV?"
here's the
I
thing
was
about
like,
that.
"Yes, you
But
can."
here's the thing about her even watching TV. The TV just be on.
Right? Because
She don't be watching that.
she's still be doing other
She'll be
things.
doing her Barbie doll hair.
Yeah.
She'll be playing in her kitchen. The TV just is as
Yeah.
background noise.
Yeah.
So she's not really paying attention to it unless it's Elsa.
And, yes, unless it's Elsa or it's just something that she really wants to watch.
Yeah.
But, no, it's just got me thinking because I feel like there is probably multiple pivotal stages as she grows up where we're gonna experience this, like, attitude change
Mhm.
and, like, her character starting to show and come more to the surface, and I think what I see sometimes is that little, strip of, like, anger that she gets, like, when she's really frustrated and she starts balling up her fists, and then she wants to talk really aggressively, then she gets, like, a attitude, she gets, like, a really bad attitude,
Mhm.
and for me, what I try to do, it don't always work, but what I try to do is I try not to meet her with that same energy,
Mhm.
right? Because the whole point is for me to show her that, yeah, you can be upset. Yes, you can be angry. I want you to show how you're feeling, but there's a way for you to do that and actually communicate how you're feeling to the other person so that they can understand. So your frustration is just not going nowhere. You know what I mean?
And I also feel like sometimes this is just maybe the man in me that sometimes these situations need to be met aggression with aggression.
Some scenarios, I don't disagree. Some scenarios, but and this may just be the woman in
Yeah.
me.
Oh my god.
But I also feel like if the whole point of the environment that she's being raised in
Mhm.
is to, like, teach her by showing her
Mhm.
how she can better, like, manage her emotions and
Mm.
express herself
Mhm.
so that she does feel like she's heard and so that she does feel like she's getting a result, then I want her to be able to, on some level, bring herself back and be like, okay, like let me take a deep breath.
Mm.
Okay. Now let me express to you, like let me let you know where I'm coming from.
What I'm
But when
feeling.
you're at a 10 already and your fists are balled up and you're stomping your foot and you're swinging your head and you're like, I'm so angry. I'm so What is the other person doing? They're getting upset and angry too, right?
Mm.
So you're no one's hearing anybody,
Oh no, I hear it perfectly.
but like
I'm just matching the energy with my energy.
I understand, but
And
but the
can
thing
I can I
is
can I say that in anime terms?
what?
I'm letting my aura push her aura back because my aura is stronger,
Right. Okay, but
and I'm letting her know I
are
don't.
you
At
are
this
you
point,
supposed are you supposed to be a leader and a teacher to cultivate an environment for her to learn? Or are you going to stoop down to her level and just rah rah with her and let her know that your rah rah is stronger?
and my answer to that is it's all encompassing because sometimes that needs to be done because
Sometimes.
when boundaries are being pushed and lines are being crossed, there needs to be an understanding that there are consequences and
Absolutely.
that you not who you think you are. Because
What
when
do you
we
mean by that?
because
Like,
what I mean is when we get up on this line, boy,
I'm being for real.
I'm being for real.
Because when you
What
say
I'm
things when you
That's what I
say
mean.
things like but when you say things like you're not who you think you are, for me anyway, what I'm hearing is you're trying to like knock her down. Like
Okay.
you're
Okay,
trying to
I'm not
say,
okay
"No,
here.
hold on, let me finish." In my opinion, for my ears, as a person listening to this, it sounds like you're trying to say, "Okay, you think of yourself as like that you're like up here, like you know what you're
Mhm.
doing, you got but I'm finna show you that you really don't know you
Okay,
know what I
and
mean?"
let me respond to this by saying this. Part of that a portion of that is true
Mhm.
because sometimes in the way she talks to us and how she
Very
try
matter of
it
fact.
is very matter of fact
Mhm.
how she's trying to, like, to tell us what we're going to do.
Mhm. I
And when
agree.
she does that, no, you don't tell me shit.
Mhm.
I tell
Agreed.
you what to do.
Yeah.
So that's when you have to say, "Hey, let me tell you something. Whoever you think you are right now,
Right. You're not.
you're not that person.
Okay.
You're not that
I
person."
guess I could
So
understand it
like I
from that
said,
angle.
it really is everything is really is I don't want to say time based, but it's situation based.
It is very situation based.
Everything is situational. So I'm not gonna rah-rah on her all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of times I try not to rah-rah on her.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm saying like, okay,
I'm
now
trying to give her leeway. She takes a mile.
this is like my 5th, 6th time.
Yeah.
Now I gotta say, all right, now I gotta put my bass in the voice. Now I gotta stand
Right.
up. Now, oh, like I would, but then it's always, well, I was just playing. Well, no,
Well, yeah, because I'm the one that usually has to say it like 3 times, and then you say it like once or twice, and then she's
because
like,
I don't try to impede on what you're doing.
yeah,
But
understandable.
one message that I have always been consistent with her over the last like 5 or 6 years: you will not disrespect my wife. And when
She gets tired of hearing it.
when you raise your
She's like,
voice,
"I know, I
it,
won't disrespect your
and when you
wife."
raise your voice at my wife, now we got to fight.
Bye, Maurice.
I don't give a damn who you are.
I think what it is too, and I know I'm not the only mama that's like this. I think because your male energy and because your voice holds so much more weight as far as like tone than mine's. When I hear you like disciplining her and you're like using your dad voice,
Even when it's in your defense, you'll come to
it's
me and be like,
it's
you didn't have to say it like
I'm
that.
it's just like but here's the thing, like I understand also, and even I tussle with it. Excuse me. I understand also that you disciplining her is also important.
Oh, why did you say that?
What?
Tussle.
Oh gosh. You disciplining her is also really important, right? So I do my best to just be like, "Oh," like I be holding in the end like when I'm in the other room and I hear you talking to her or like you're,
I'll be trying to make
trying to
deals with her
like bring her
sometimes.
back down. I'd be like I be just sitting there like folding my hands like, "Okay, that's her father. He knows what he's
Am
doing.
I?
Let me just
Am I her father?
boy, don't play with me.
Cause
Don't play with do
you,
not play with
are you
me.
trying to say us doubt?
Do not play with me. But then you do your thing, and I give her space. And then I'm like, okay, I wait a little bit because I don't want you to feel like I'm undermining you, and I don't want her to feel like, um, every time you discipline
But
her that I'm right back there to,
but
like, soothe her, you know?
but to some degree you do.
I know that yeah, I'm aware.
And it's clear that she understands that because she always tries to usurp what I say by going to you.
Yeah, but what do I always do?
You
Like, what do I
sometimes no,
what
no,
no,
sometimes
not
she
not
be trying.
sometimes. I always what do I always do? Just
What
like the other night
did
when I
you
went
ask your
back up
father?
there.
Did you ask your father? What'd your father say?
Or no, like, when I went up there to talk to her after, you had sent her upstairs, and just to I always, like, let her talk about it. So, when she's like, "Oh, dad's being really mean to me," she was like, "He's being so mean to me." And I was like, "Why do you think he's being mean to you?" "Because he made me come upstairs, or because he put me in the corner, or whatever." And I was like, "Okay, Phoenix, well, what was happening? Like, what action caused daddy to send you upstairs?" And literally she was like, "'Cause I wasn't listening." Okay, so was it daddy being mean or was it you not following directions? And I let her tell me, like, I wasn't following direction. Okay, well then do you think you should owe your dad an apology?
Don't be
Because that was
mocking my.
disrespectful.
I don't like the way you mocking my child right now.
Goodbye. But what did she do before she went to bed? She came in your room and what?
She apologized.
She
She didn't
apologized.
want to.
It
You
doesn't
you
matter whether
made her.
she wanted to or not,
You made her.
because I need her to understand that you don't get to disrespect your father. You don't get to disrespect me. Your
Mm,
father's going to hold you accountable. I'm
yeah,
going to hold you accountable. And it doesn't matter because you're still going to get the consequence.
yeah.
And like I told her, I said, when you choose not to follow directions, when you choose not to listen to your father or myself, you are also choosing whatever consequence that comes after that,
Right.
because you're making a choice to sit there and ignore us when we sit there and we call you 2 or 3 times, and
Mm,
and you make eye contact
mhm.
and then turn your head. You are choosing what comes after that.
Facts.
So she does understand that. I think that sometimes, and I used to think this, like, when my sister was a teenager, my sister was like, she was one of those rebellious teenagers. And
Ain't shit changed.
I used to think that, yes, she would get consequences, but for some reason, and for me, in my sister's mind, the consequences did not weigh the things that she wanted to do. So she would just do them and be like, okay, like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm on restriction. Okay, okay, what's the worst that could happen? I can't go somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I always saw when she was moving as a teenager. Cause I used to be like, you know, mama said you can't do that. And she would be like, okay, well, I'm gonna
That's
pack my
see
bag and
see, and
I'm
that's
headed out for the weekend, and I guess we'll see what her punishment is when I get back, but I'm still gonna go. Like,
see, and that's how I know that we were raised in 2 separate because
and but I
because
think
if
about
I
things
packed
like
a
that.
bag for a weekend,
Okay, I'm being a little dramatic, but I'm just
I
saying,
couldn't come
like,
back.
but what I'm saying is like, how would we handle that? Like, when I see certain things that my sister experienced, like with my nephew when he was like a preteen and stuff, it's like, how do you handle that?
And
How do you handle a child who basically is like, I'm gonna do it.
I think those are all things that you have to nib in the bud early on
But what does that look
because
like?
I feel like I think that looks like what you letting them get away with things constantly in their early years without consequences.
Okay, but what I'm
You're
saying
not
is the
and
consequences don't outweigh what the thing they want
right,
to do.
but it's not only the consequences. It has to be it's the consequences. It's the structure. It's the
Mhm.
expectations. You know what I'm saying? It's about a lot of times I feel like kids are in trouble just because they're idle minds. So
Yeah.
if you give them tasks to complete, you know what I'm saying?
They don't have an
Right,
expectation.
right.
And I do, when it's funny that you mentioned the expectation thing, because that's something that I feel like I do kind of struggle with, because you know my personality type. And you know how when I get onto something, if it's something where I feel like I need to win at or do really good in, I'm I'm all in on it, right?
I mean, sometimes.
And bye. I'm all in on it. And I know how that makes me feel sometimes when when I feel like I've put myself up against a wall to achieve, and then I see sometimes, for me, I feel like I'm pushing her too much sometimes, like, especially when it comes to school or when it comes to, like, the sports that she's in. Like, part of me is just, I want you to do the best that you possibly can, and
Mhm.
I'm not going to accept when you're not doing your best.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
even if she what was it, week before last, she brought home a spelling test and it wasn't her best spelling test. Like she constantly brings home 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. This one she brought home, it was an 8 out of 10. And she was like, oh, and then her sentence, I think her sentence, she got like a 7 out of 10 or something like that. But the hesitation that she had
Oh, showing it to you.
of showing it to me, I was just like, like, do I look at this as a good thing
That's a great thing.
where she understands that there is a standard that she needs
That's
to,
that's a
but
great thing.
on the same token, I also don't want her to be afraid to
No,
be like, I don't want her to be afraid to be like, okay, it's not the best, but I
mm,
did do my best.
see,
And so that's why I always ask when she brought home that test, I was like, did you do your best? Because I knew she studied for that week. Like I make sure she studies every day. So I
mhm.
was like, did you do your best? And she was like, "I did. I did my best." And what I don't want to do is make her feel like her best isn't enough just because it doesn't meet my standard. Does that make
No, I
sense?
see. I feel like it's not saying your best is enough. It means you need to try harder.
Right, but
And
I don't
so,
want that. I want her to have a growth mindset, not just like a fixated mindset.
but I also I rock with the hesitation because that's her realizing I haven't met the standard that's been expected of me.
Right, but I get what you're saying. And yes, part of me was like, "Okay,
Because
she
that's
understands."
that's the harsh reality of life.
I know, but I'm thinking, and I probably shouldn't because we only have the moment, but I think about how this translates later in life, preteen years, teenage years.
And
Those are already really tough emotional, hormonal years,
uh-huh. And
you
like
know?
but like I always tell you, like we could do everything right until age 12 and then one event changes her outlook.
And
So
you
it's
don't
like
even understand how I think about that
so
so much.
that's why I don't get caught up in the moments. I do what I feel is best at the time. And even with the homework thing, like she knows what to expect. That's why when I ask her questions, "Hey, did you do this?" "Yes, yes, I did that. I
Mhm.
wasn't doing it. I did everything, Dad. I did everything." You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, you know your work? Yeah, I did my work. Okay." Like you know what the expectation is.
Yeah, I like that. I like that she understands that there is an expectation, that there is a standard, you know what I mean?
Mhm,
Because we are constantly reiterating that to her
mhm.
and, like, letting her know. But I do see sometimes that it gets on her, I guess, in so many words,
Gets on her nerves.
like, where I can just see where she's just like, "Dude, I know." Like, she gives me, like, that attitude, like, "I
Oh,
know, I know, I
yeah,
know."
I get that too. And I'm like, "Imma reinforce,
Mhm.
reinforce, reinforce, because I don't really give a damn about your attitude, attitude, attitude. I don't care. You better fix that."
Well, but see, that's what I'm saying, like, how you were talking about earlier, when my concern is when I start seeing something, and there's so many different things that go through my mind. You just like, mom guilt, everything. It's just like
Mom guilt.
I see something in her, and I'm like, like I don't necessarily like. I want to. Not that I want to fix it. I just want to redirect it. And how do I go about redirecting it? Because if I don't like the way this looks at 6, I'm definitely not going to like the way this looks at 16. You know what I'm saying?
I also feel like a lot of things that you worry about are things that change with time,
Yeah, I agree.
and it's like,
I agree.
because I recall having numerous conversations with you, and I'd be like, "Babe, she's only 5.
I know.
She's only 4."
I know, and I have
And
to
it's
say that
like,
to myself
you have to,
too.
like a lot of times, it's as if you don't understand that she's just her age, and I get the fact that you want her to be a little more advanced in certain areas, but at the same
Well, she
time
is.
well, she is, but again, at the same time, like we always said, like we have allowed her to be a child.
Yeah,
She doesn't have the same maturity level that we had at her age.
right.
Lord knows. I mean, I think I was cooking my own breakfast by then.
I
So,
mean, don't think she hasn't
you
tried,
know.
but she also doesn't like the way things feel and like, and that's she likes to help me cook, but then when she gets things on her hands, she's like, "Oh, no, like, I'm done." Like, she was cooking the eggs and she got egg on her fingers and she was like, "Mm-mm, no."
Anyway, so she's been allowed to be a child, so I don't want to like compare her
Childhood to ours?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
because
can't do that.
it's completely different
Night and
circumstances,
day.
right?
Night and
Completely
day.
different circumstances. So I give her grace in that regard. That's why I do try to be a little more patient with her.
Yeah,
But there are certain points, and I will admit that I'm guilty of this, where it's like, no, you need to listen now.
yeah,
I'm not gonna tell you this 2 or 3 times, and I don't care about the breakdown. I
yeah,
don't care about because I will just tell you, "Go to your room." If we're in public, we'll just go home.
yeah,
Your breakdown is not gonna affect anything.
yeah. I don't know. I just these are just things that I think about all the time, and especially recently because day before yesterday when she had through that whole fit. She's blowing us kisses right now. When she had through that fit,
Mhm.
and when she gets angry, she also that's another thing. She also says like mean things.
Oh, yeah, she's a woman. She has that in her. I guess it's from birth.
Okay. What?
I guess it's from birth.
No one says mean things to you when they're upset. I don't say mean things
That's
to
what
you
I
when
said.
I'm upset.
That's a woman trait.
It's a
She's a woman. Well, she's
okay.
gonna be one. Yeah, I've been called so many mean things
By who, babe?
by my child and my wife.
I haven't called you anything mean.
Not recently.
Okay.
Um, I've been told I'm not a good daddy.
Oh, well, anytime you
I'm,
discipline her, the first
I'm,
thing she says is
I'm a
that
mean daddy.
you're not a good dad.
The other day, she told me she was gonna find another dad.
Yes.
Um,
She said, "I'm just gonna have to find another dad."
and then she told
And
me,
then your response was, "Okay."
"Yeah, go get him, cause free up my money. Ain't hurt me none." You know what I'm saying? It used to hurt, but
And no,
now
I think it's
no, it used to hurt. Now I'm like, okay. Like
well, because she's just
she
upset.
literally told me she don't love me no more. I said that's fine. You don't have to love me, but you will respect me.
Yeah.
You don't have to love me, but
That she
you
will do.
will respect me.
That's what she will do.
You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this whole like I always say, like the tragedy of childhood is them growing up,
Hmm.
children becoming adults. And I think part of me is just trying to hold on as much as I can
Uh huh.
and redirect things that I think are concerning, but
Uh huh.
I think that also comes from me wanting to like control, having control
You
on some
definitely want to
level,
have control. You want to have
but
control of everything.
I also I try to reel that in and understand that I can't control everything,
Hmm.
and I don't want to control everything,
Why not? Why
because
not?
I don't know everything.
Oh, okay. I'm happy you said that.
You know? Stop it. I don't know everything, but it's my child. And I feel like anything that pertains to her, I'm just hyper vigilant about, or I'm just very hyper focused on,
Hmm.
because there's also this part of me that I wrestle with where and I think this is my own internal stuff that I might be pushing off, but I say to myself like I don't want her to regret not giving it her all, or I don't want her to regret not pursuing something, or I don't want her to regret not being in the moment, you
Hmm.
know? But
Hmm.
I think when I think about that and I sit with that and like when I journal and stuff, part of that has a lot to do with me,
Hmm.
right?
Uh
And
huh.
it's the things that maybe I feel like I didn't fulfill, you know? And I want
Fulfilling yourself or in her.
fulfilling myself,
Okay.
or where I feel like I may have fallen short in my own life,
Hmm.
and whatever that is, I haven't worked through that part to find whatever that is, but I guess it for me, what I recognize is that on some level, it has caused me to feel like there is something that I didn't fulfill for myself yet, and I don't want her to have that feeling. So my only recourse to that is like trying to push her as much as I can,
Yeah, but
but not, you know what I mean? But
mm,
also realizing that she's also not me.
and
She's not
I
me.
say that to you all the time.
You
Like,
do.
no,
You
she's
do.
not you.
She's not me.
And I'm not a fan of pushing at this age because I feel like this is the age where she's still discovering herself and the things
Oh,
she's
absolutely.
like.
Absolutely.
So I'm more so in line with the thought of we're gonna follow where you go,
Yeah.
and we're gonna make sure you stay within the lines.
Yeah. But I mean,
And
like, the introdu like,
right,
when I say push, I mean from the perspective of, instilling in her certain habits, right? Because she's about to
right,
be 7. So we all know that there's a very short window for kids' brain developments, right?
hmm
Their brains are like computers. Whatever
yeah,
you've downloaded into that computer up to about 6 or 7, everything becomes very, like, fixated.
uh-huh,
You know what I'm saying? So there's certain things when I say push, I want to like when I say push, I'm saying like her manners, the way she presents herself, the way she carries herself, the way she speaks to people, the way she speaks to herself, the way she treats herself, her thought process when she's upset, her thought process when people have done her wrong. Those are the things that like I'm saying push. That's why I like to have a lot of conversation with her.
hmm
Like you see like what does she like to do at night? Every night.
she like to talk. Period.
She likes to talk. She all because that's like my biggest thing. Like I want that to be so normal for her. I want conversation and being able to express yourself even with your words to be so normal
hmm
for her that it's just like second nature for her to be like I need to have a conversation with you about how I'm feeling or
hmm
I need to talk to you about your actions and how they made me feel or like even when she's in the workplace being vocal about like her opinions and being vocal about her ideas. Like I want conversation to be so normal for her. I don't want for her to grow up and be one of those people who like can't express themselves or when they do express themselves they express themselves in such a negative way that they're never heard or that they're never seen because people don't know how to receive it because you're saying it with such anger or you're saying it, you know what I mean?
mm
So when I talk about push, I'm not talking about like pushing her into like a certain box or her being a certain type of kid to grow up to be a certain type of young adult. I'm talking about like her life skills, pushing her to develop certain like life skills. And I also recognize that her brain is still a 6-year-old brain and she doesn't have the capacities to understand a lot of things right now, right? But she is still really bright. And I feel like once we just plant the seed, as long as the seed is there and we try to water it, then it'll grow. But it's gonna be really hard to try to plant new seeds when she's 12. You know
mm.
what I mean?
Well,
And
she's
she
very she the one thing I will say is she is she's very clear in conveying what she's thinking
Right,
and how she's feeling.
right.
So to that point, you're doing well because she does that well. Now, she's going to be vocal.
Mhm.
She's going to tell you, and a lot of times she's unapologetically vocal.
Yeah.
You know, she has no filter. Which
Well,
that
because she's a kid too, she don't know.
right, but that point, well, I mean, she kind of gets that from me because she just says what she says, and like, we'll worry about the interpretation and the meaning after I say
Yeah.
what I
Yeah, and
say.
then they'll let me know if it was right or if it was
Right,
wrong.
right. So, but I was gonna say that um there's nothing wrong with like being reflective because I think that's what you're doing. You're being reflective on your life, and then you're trying to position your child to be in a better place than you were by the time she reaches the level that you are. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I just think at the same time you can't think too heavily about navigating her life
Yeah.
from your view
Right,
when you're not the one in the driver's seat.
right.
So you're basically
Yeah, perfectly said.
backseat driving
Passenger seat
in
driving.
a life that's not yours.
Yeah,
So that's why I always say, no, I'm gonna let her make her decisions, and
yeah,
I'm just gonna watch her close. And
yeah.
when she gets, too far off the line, out of line, me like when she gets to danger
Yeah,
or things that I
yeah.
perceive to be dangerous or just are not good for her. That's when I'll interject and say, no, you need to come back this way because of what's over there. You're not ready for because you
Mhm.
don't have the maturity level to comprehend a
What
threat.
you're getting yourself
Right,
into. Yeah.
because again, like I said, a couple pods ago when we were down in LA and she just ran in the street, in her mind it's a normal day. I run in the
Mhm.
street all the
All the
time
time at
at
home.
home
Uh-huh.
because she lives in the cul-de-sac and
Yeah.
she can see cars. This is not the same
Yeah.
situation, baby. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Her
So
environment's completely different, but
right.
she doesn't know
So it's
that.
like in that instance, yeah, I had to raise my voice and talk to her and she's looking at me like, why am I being
Reprimanded for running.
for something I do all the
Yeah.
time. So that part, those nuances of it, it's hard for her to understand because I don't think she can associate, you know, rules with places as much.
Oh, I see
You
what you
see what
mean.
I'm saying?
Like her being
Like
in a different
right,
environment and knowing
right.
that the same
And
rules
not
that come
and
from her other environment
right.
don't apply.
And not necessarily rules, but like commonalities,
Yeah.
right? Like she understands that at school I can do this. I can do this, but I can't do this. I can do this at home, but I can't do this at school.
Mhm.
At school, I can do a little more of this because they're not gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
She understands that part. What I'm saying is that she doesn't understand that the way that she is allowed to interact and behave at home
Right.
is not the same
Doesn't
way
translate.
everywhere,
Yeah.
right? That's why they always say what they do at home and what they do in what they do
Yeah, they learn it from
right.
home. Right.
So it's like that aspect of her, I don't fully expect her to comprehend yet because it's certain, like I said, commonalities of I still said that wrong. Of different places that, you know, come up that needs to be learned and that you and a lot of times you really learn those through experiences
Right.
because we can't teach her how to behave in certain situations
Right.
unless those situations arise.
Right.
So at that point, I feel like I mean, by no means is my child a bad child. By
At
no
all.
by no means.
At all.
But she is at the same time, she is a child. And so there are gonna be times where she needs to be reprimanded and she needs to be molded
Mhm.
into
Redirected.
and redirected, right? And so that she can understand. Now, I also believe that we do a good job of explaining to her why
Yeah.
things are the way they are. And
Yeah.
I think that's a thing, and that's something new because, like, you know, we grew up, we weren't explained why,
We didn't have to be explained why. It's just because I
right?
said so.
But I actually, at first, it was hard for me to understand, like, why are we doing this? Like, why do I have to explain her why? But now it's like I like explaining why because now she can learn to associate the
She could put
why with the reason.
she can put
So
the
that
2
way
together.
we don't have to keep having this same conversation
Mhm.
because she goes, oh shoot, if I do this, dad's gonna do that. Right. So
Mhm.
now it's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, I'm literally you know, lightening my fatherly workload in advance by explaining
Yeah.
to her why this is happening.
Because now her brain starts to line everything up
Right,
and it's like, okay, this is going to be a
right,
consequence or this isn't
right,
acceptable or this doesn't meet the
right.
standard. Yeah.
And I think and to that point, I think we have to start giving children the credit they deserve when they are smarter than what we think they are.
Right.
They may not be like book smart, but they can comprehend
Oh yeah.
and
You've heard her.
they have savvy interpersonal skills.
She's proven me wrong quite a few
I mean,
times.
that's not hard.
G- Goodbye.
It's not hard.
Goodbye.
You're a Drake at. You know,
My
so
goodness.
in that regard, it's like, you know, she's shown us her level of intelligence, you know, because she can comprehend and she can foreshadow. Like if I do this, I know. And a lot of times, and this is why I say that sometimes the gangster in her just comes out because
Yeah.
she knows what the consequence is.
And she still don't care.
She's like, but I want to do it.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do it. And then she just takes her
Or she does this thing where she'll ask. She knows the answer,
yeah,
but she'll ask and then she'll tilt her head to the side. Like,
just a little bit.
so yeah, so what will happen if I just decide to do it?
Right.
Like,
Just a little bit.
yeah, that's what she be like, just a little bit
And
more.
the thing about that is, like, it's clear to us that she knows what the rules are. She knows what she can and cannot do, and it's just she picks and chooses when she wants to break the line. And when she breaks the line, it's on us to show up and say, "Well, now here are your consequences for breaking
Right.
them."
And and I was just having this conversation with a parent at gym the other day, and we were having the conversation about letting your kids fail. And I was telling her, I said, you know what? Me and my husband talk about this all the time. I said, but I think it really is essential. Cause like even for someone like me, where where I try to,
You try to
like redirect and,
you
do all these things,
you try to hand her a layup every time.
I also know that it's so important for her to fail.
Yes.
And there have been times where I knew something was gonna go wrong. I
Right.
knew it was gonna go wrong, but I had to let it go wrong. And she was at gymnastics one day
Mhm.
and her coach had noticed that she kept they were jumping off the vault And the coach kept saying, "Stop looking at the mats." Because wherever it's like when you ride your motorcycle, wherever your eyes go, so will your body, right? So the coach was like, "Don't look at the mats. If you keep looking at the mats, you're gonna fall face forward in the
Mhm.
mat. You're not gonna go into the pit." So she knew this one, our kid, because sometimes she don't think fat meat is greasy. So sure enough,
How old are you?
hey, she gets up on the vault. She runs, jumps to jump off the vault, looks dead at the mat, and guess who falls flat faced on the mat?
It was a great day.
And starts crying. And what I appreciated about Coach was like, let her have her moment. She walked over to her. She made sure she was safe. She made sure she was okay. And then she was like, "What did I say right before you ran up to get on that vault?" And she was like, "To look at the pit." And she was like, "And where did you look?" And she was like, "At the mats." She was like, "Okay. So when we try it again, where are you gonna look?" And she was like, "I'm gonna look at the pit." But it's like coach already knew because she had saw what she was doing before,
Mhm.
and right before she did it again, she reiterated, "Don't look at the mat."
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing, like, when I was talking to the other parent at gym, I was like, "It's so hard when you know they're about to fail or not, like,
But you have to let them.
but you have to let them
You have to let
fall
them.
because that's the only thing, like, the brain is gonna make the connection. Because we can keep saying all day long it's like when we were teenagers, right?
Mhm.
It's like, "Yeah, you're gonna do this, and I don't want you to get caught up in this, and if you do this, this is what happens," and it's like, "Okay, yeah, but the first thing you think about is, 'I'm not you,' like, I'm not you when you were
Yeah.
16, and I know what I'm doing," but it's like, you have to let them just get in it, and once they're in it, then they're like, "Damn," but you can be there to support them.
Right. And and to that point, it's like I'm all thinking right now. I was like, I might have to just one day take them damn training wheels off that bike because she's holding on to that safety.
Yeah, that's how she was on the treadmill. So she was getting on she got on the treadmill the other day and she was running and she got up to a 3.5 speed. And
That's a walking.
when she got up for her little legs, it was a light jog. So when she got up to the 3.5, she started holding on to the rail. And I was like, you have to focus on your pace. I was like, because the rail, you're not supposed to be able to hold on to the rail and then do the whole 12 minutes. Like
Yeah.
you need to just run. And so she's like, okay. So she hesitantly took her arms off, and I was
Mhm.
like, "It's fine, like, if you fall, I'm right here, like, it's okay though."
Mhm.
But she was so hesitant about doing it, and thank God she didn't fall flat on her face, but
But that's the
she was
thing.
close.
That's the thing though. Like you have to fall.
Yeah,
Falling and it's part of the teaching.
it's a part of life.
It's a part of the teaching. So
Yeah, it's a part of life, like, even as adults, we still fall.
yeah, you fall all the time.
I can't stand
I
you.
wasn't gonna say nothing though.
Anywho, but yeah, this whole parenting thing, I know
It's for the birds.
we're man, man. It's literally the
I'm not saying
best
I'm not saying
job I have ever
I'm
had in
not
my life
I'm
and
not
the
saying
most mentally draining.
like don't get me wrong, I love my child. I love my child to death, but
Mhm.
at the same time, that dink life was great.
Oh my gosh, it was so long ago.
I know, I can imagine. I can't remember it anymore.
I can't. Anywho. Yeah, so all you parents out there, just hang in there. We're all in this together, guys. Like
Man, fuck them kids.
it's we're all in this together. There is no rule book, and we're just doing the best we can.
We should
Okay.
all just act like the Spartans. Send them out into the wild when they turn 8.
When they turn 8
And
and let them fend for themselves,
if you come back,
you come back.
we
If
lost.
you don't, we know you weren't up to
You
par
gotta spend 3 days.
in the wild. All right. Well, let's hop on over into our 2 cents. I feel like I need a good little not laugh, but I really want to hear your advice on this
It's
one.
finna be some bullshit. Come on.
Okay.
Why you
Okay.
already
It
laughing?
says, I found poop stains in my boyfriend's underwear
Okay.
multiple
Alright,
times.
I'm out.
How do I approach this without causing tension?
Okay. Alright. Till
I
next time. This has been another episode of
I and my boyfriend have been together for 6 years. Over this past year, our intimate life has severely declined. The main issue I'm having is his hygiene. I personally am extremely hygienic. I shower every morning and every single night and have a strategic body care and skincare routine. Not saying I wash my hair twice a day, but I always do a quick rinse off in the shower. My boyfriend showers maybe once every other day and really only brushes his teeth for a quick minute before bed without flossing or using mouthwash. I also often find his poop stained underwear on the floor of our bedroom and bathroom. I believe I might even have a little bit of OCD when it comes to personal hygiene as I really overthink about germs and whatnot. I work in the medical field, so hygiene is extremely important to me. I'm finding it really difficult to be intimate with him when I'm worried about his bad hygiene affecting mine, like getting poop on me. And it's also really hard for me to be attracted to someone when the odor is really bad. I love him to death and he's and he's such a good man, but it's really starting to bother me. I haven't really brought it up because I don't want to hurt his feelings. It also is a major turnoff to me to have to lecture him on how to wipe properly. I need some advice on how to kindly bring this up without making him feel bad.
There is no kind way to say this. There is no kind way.
Her boyfriend is 28, by the way.
There and I'm not gonna take it there. There's no kind way to say this.
Right.
It- you need to be washing your ass every day, especially if you're an adult. I don't understand
Yeah.
why full
Wash your
grown.
whole ass,
Right,
not just your asshole.
right. No, Red said you ain't gotta wash
Wash
your
your
whole
whole
ass.
ass.
Just make sure
But
you
you
wash
wash
your
your
asshole.
asshole.
Um, you know, the not wiping a lot of time it's not that he's not wiping properly, he's just not wiping enough. He's probably just wiping one time
And that's
and
okay.
not checking.
I was listening
You're
to
supposed to wipe till you don't see
I
no
was listening
more.
to
Can
another
you stop
podcast.
hitting me there?
Oh, your tattoo. I'm sorry. I was looking at another podcast and they were having this exact conversation about how many times people wipe. And one of their guests, okay, got on there and said that he wipes once.
Nah.
And the girls were like, "What? Like who goes number 2 to the bathroom and only wipes
I
once?"
mean, there's times where you only need one wipe.
No. You have
But
to you have to double
hold
back.
on, hold on. Listen, let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay. I'm gonna
You
let you
you
cook.
you only need one wipe, but the second wipe is there to confirm you only need one wipe. So
Oh,
the
you mean
truth,
like if the first time you wiped and it was clear,
yeah,
like if you had a clean break
no, like
and then you go in for the second
so you
one?
wipe the first time,
Uh-huh.
right? And then you wipe again to make sure you're good,
Right.
right? So you only needed one wipe, but you needed two to confirm. So the minimum number of the wipes is two. Two is the minimum. And if it takes if you're on wipe 4 or 5, just get in the
You
shower.
have to take a shower. I mean, you say 4 or 5. I say if you still like coming up pretty opaque on the third one,
Yeah,
you're gonna need to get in the shower. And you also need to drink more water.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's all that means. That means you need to drink more water
yeah.
because there's you shouldn't be back there wiping your butt 5 and 6 times.
Not at all. Not at all.
So, I mean, my advice would be I would just literally have a conversation with him and be like, "Babe, like I noticed your drawers.
Just go in there and
They're a little
say
skittish."
just go in there and say you get more loving if your ass was clean. Because let's be that if you want to keep it 100, as a boy, your only motivation to start taking showers regularly is for a girl.
Okay, well then somehow he lost that. And I don't know, maybe he got comfortable and he was like, if this is the person that I'm gonna be with, I mean, she might as well see my true colors.
Either that or
Or
he was
is it a test?
he's been with some nasty women before her that just didn't give a damn.
Yeah, but I'm with her on that. Like I would be terrified that he would get poop on me in an unpleasant
I don't know when
area.
last time I had shit in my drawers.
Probably since like when you were 3.
Nah,
Oh, it was after that?
probably like middle school.
Oh,
It's
no.
the teenage boys, you understand. We didn't shower every day.
Oh.
It's a boy thing. It's a little
And it's so crazy because it's the opposite for girls.
well, because y'all got more going on.
It's like your
It's
mama,
like
like once you got to that stage, your
right.
mama was
It's
like
like
adamant, like you better be in
right.
that shower
And then
twice
hold
a
on.
damn
So
day.
it's funny. It's actually funny we having this conversation because I was talking to my tattoo guy, and we're talking about like, man, as boys, we didn't really understand how bad we smell. I said we
Uh-huh.
did. I said we had no idea because to us,
Oh, I remember my
he was like,
nephews.
because he was like, now when I go to like my brother's house and I see my nephew's room, I'm like, how
How
are y'all in here like this? Like, like I said, they
especially with the dirty clothes everywhere?
right. Like I said, we really had like just like
It was
a
oblivious to you guys.
adapted nostrils where like everything was like I don't for some
We had
like
adapted nostrils.
it was just different.
Maybe because it was your own body odor, so for you it didn't affect you. It's like when you take a poo. Like your own poop odor doesn't affect you, but if
No,
somebody else
sometimes
smells it, it's like,
no.
dude,
Sometimes I take a poo. I'm like, ooh, that's wretched.
every time you take a poo is wretched, and it shouldn't be. Did you guys know that your poop is not supposed to smell like
They
that?
says the person who clears out bad
That don't
always.
don't get on here and lie. Anywho, but yeah, boys have no clue on how wretched they can smell. It's weird. But anywho, back to the advice. I would just simply there's no nice way of saying it. Just be like, babe, I think you need to clean a little bit more in the backyard.
I will say this. I will give a stinky man more grace than a stinky woman. Just keep it. I'm gonna be honest. If you're a
Why?
woman,
Because of the smell difference?
it smell different, and I'm like, that's not even healthy for you.
It's not healthy for anybody. What
But
are you
it's
talking
really not
about?
healthy for a woman.
What's
Like
not healthy?
you over here smelling like that baking bread in between your legs. That's bad.
Why do you always assume someone is baking bread?
That yeast is high. It's bad.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
It's bad.
This has been another episode of Life After I Do podcast. If you are not doing so already, you know the usual. You can follow us on all of our social media platforms at Life After I Do podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok,
TikTok's been extended. You got
and
you got 6
YouTube.
months.
You can also write into us at lifeafteridopodcast@gmail.com. We would love to
And
hear from you
OnlyFans.
guys. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe, do all of the things on our social media
Don't
platforms
forget
that
the
you get.
OnlyFans.
We don't have an OnlyFans.
I
And you
said
have a
only
OnlyPants?
pans.
Bye. Bye. That was a reference if you haven't watched the Cat Williams special. Anyway, but you get a new episode every Wednesday. And until then, we will catch up with you guys next week. Peace.
Peace, booskies.